So I was pressure washing this truck, and all of a sudden this gas tank started leaking. Looks like she's rotted through right there. Another 130 bucks down the tubes. We're balls deep in this project though, so we're going to keep going. Got the wire wheel out. I'm just doing a real quick once over, and then same with the firewall, wherever I can get that big wire wheel in there. And then we're going to drop some epoxy primer on this and call it a day. I'm going to get the roof and the rest of the cabin to epoxy primer also. Both these core supports need to be patched. Just going to die grind this out and then weld a piece beneath it. I can shim it to whatever height I want. There was a Milwaukee Admirals hockey puck on this side. Folks, you have just witnessed the fastest cab prep and engine compartment prep primer job in history. Just did a quick once over chassis black here. The frame, the floors, and the firewall and engine compartment. It was that speed coat. I wasn't a big fan of that stuff. I'm glad to get rid of it.
So this was a big project. Something happened to this hood a while ago and it had all kinds of weird spots on it and stuff. We just took it all the way down. So we got major rust in here, and if you don't take care of it, pretty soon the hood is going to be flexing when you're trying to close it because the springs are strong enough to put torque into this. We got metal separation here. We're probably going to have to dig this out and re-squeeze this. We got rot all the way across the front. He's going to have to make a strip and weld it to here. And I don't know how you're going to finish off, you know, because there's not much here. But a lot of spots, and it was all crusty. We just went ape shit on this thing with wire wheels last night because it was getting to be 10:30, I think. We had been sanding all that paint off the other side. So today it's Saturday morning and he'll be working on this and I'll be working on the doors and the fenders and then another application of high build primer.
There was actually a mouse nest up in here.
Oh yeah.
Pick that out of there.
You just end up lifting the hood and you hear all this rust crinkling through there. We were with the blower, you go in one direction, sun comes out, then you blow the other way and you think you can get it all out. Never can. You move it around, you can hear rust shaking.
Yeah, another thing was tin canning pretty bad. Like some of these jobs came out, so we'll have to maybe stick some right stuff or seam sealer or something in there.
When somebody says tin canning or oil canning, it's like the metal, we were just trying to sand it, and it goes boom, 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 you know. Then you just have pressure on it, goes down, then it pops back up. Nothing worse than driving down the road and my buddy had a brand new Chevy pickup truck and these came apart from each other. And the whole hood would be doing this dance. I go, doesn't that bother you? I said, why don't you stick some foam under there or glue it back together? He goes, doesn't bother me. If you can remember what these fenders looked like when we started, they were smashed up and dented, front corners rolled over. After we got it all pounded out and bondoed, primered with the epoxy primer, then now we got the high build primer on there. You can come up close and you'll see that, you know, bodywork isn't rocket science. It's just a lot of time consuming. It's hand sanding, crisscross sanding, and trying to get your creases straight on the doors. That place where the mirror was bashed in, that was really hard, and it's not going to have a straight creased line, but you know, from far away it'll look okay, and then if you got up close you'd notice it.
Working on this hood here, and the underskin used to originally come up, be underneath this folded edge here, but probably from people's hands touching it, it rusted away in the center. I'm just going to make a flat piece that angles up and tack it to this front skin. In front of the hood here, you can see there's only 3 spots where it's through. Here's what the first piece is looking like. It got some reliefs in it so it could go with the curve of the front of the hood. I'm going to do it in multiple pieces because of that curve also. Not the prettiest job, but this hood is good and rigid now. Fixing this train wreck. Want a good solid attachment point for the hinge. This side's got a little bit of rot in the corner. I think I'm just going to leave it though. It seems like it's still pretty solid. So all the more I'm going to go with that. Welding to paper thin sheet metal. Just welded up this leading edge. Looks like caca now, but I'll knock it down with the flap wheel. Actually took that lip and bent it down a little bit, started working underneath the body line. And we'll just fill up with Bondo. Made a bit of a mistake right here. It was a little short on this metal, so I brought the skin down to the metal just by tapping it a little bit here. Now I got a bit of a dent going on. A little precise grinding, and she's looking better. I just filled in those 2 holes on top of the hood with wire. Just kind of worked in a circle going around them until they were filled in. That's all the more welding I'm going to do to this hood.
Alright, so something like a tree branch or something fell down through here. And back here there was even stress. It was all a big heave. And as we put these tools on there and we held the hood up, and I just tapped around all this. This is caved in. And now it'll be minimal Bondo. I mean, you don't want to come up higher or that would be a mistake. Just a little bit low, and with the layer of Bondo on there, you'll never see it. So this is a dip right here, and you can see where the sandpaper didn't clean it out. So we'll put 2 in here, and then just as he's lifting on it, then I'll tap down. Just little taps, and you watch how it's coming up.
Yeah, we just hit 20,000 subscribers finally. Just like to thank everybody that subscribed so far.
If you're getting into body work, this is a tool to buy. Really helps. That's beautiful. Now it'll just be a thin layer. So to keep this thing from flapping and vibrating, we stuck that right stuff in between here and then schmoozed it around. So it makes the gap, you know, if we laid it on that side and we had it resting on the bottom, it actually made a dip. So to keep the lines straight, we put that in there, and now it keeps the shape of the hood right, and it won't be able to wobble because it's connected now to this ribbing. So the gas tank was all rusted out and shitty in the bottom, and we bought a new gas tank. It was galvanized, but just wiped it down, scuffed it, put a coat of this epoxy primer on it, and that's it. So because of multitasking and not enough space and it's cold outside, we're doing motor work and body work at the same time. It's a no-no. And even though these were covered up, there's spraying out of stuff and a little pepper spray of oil. You can't see it, but it's in here. So you got to use this prep solvent, trying to get that out, or else I'd be sanding oil right into it. Then you go to paint and all of a sudden you get a big fisheye. So we got to get that off.
It works pretty good.
So it's probably just where a rug didn't cover it up good enough, or I don't know. Nothing worse than a fisheye. Well, a lot of stuff. If a moth gets into the paint job, or mosquitoes, flies. Anything that you can do to hit the low spots, take off the high spots, will make it look less wavy. A lot of people think they got every little dent filled and all that. And when you paint it, everything shows. That's why a lot of cars you see that are perfectly straight, they've had this done, and all of a sudden a guy's working on his car, he's got to sand a little rust spot, and he goes, "There's Bondo all over this thing." Well, it is. It's paper thin. It's fine. It just gets it perfect. You'd never get the metal. Well, there are some guys that are good, but most guys could never get that body exactly straight. Body filler works.
It's 45 degrees out today, windy. It's going to rain in a few hours, but the project's got to go, so we're going to paint it anyway. To tape this last piece in here, you cut a hole in it.
So my wife would work on rehab houses where there's no furnace yet, but they did have electric power, and she'd be painting the new drywall and stuff, and she'd have to have her own heater. So we just took that heater and put it in there. So once this is masked off, it's nice and warm inside. Hopefully it'll heat up the whole thing like a tin can, and the paint will dry faster.
We're going to use the Summit paint system today. I was actually going to paint it with oil-based Rust-Oleum paint, but they didn't have orange. So this is Hugger Orange, cheapest paint I could find.
This is 2 coats of the color, and he's going to go with 3 coats of color and then 2 coats of clear. But so far, for being outside, the wind is losing half of his paint as he's spraying because the wind is taking it. It looks pretty cool. I think it's going to look like a public works truck. Considering where we started from, when we pulled this old wreck out of the farm, it was nasty. And when we looked at it, we thought, oh, we'll just do it in a weekend and we'll do a scuff and squirt. And it took way longer time. And you can fix anything. It's just if you're going to stay determined. The reason that we got motivated to work on it is because the weather. It makes you work fast because it's going to be snowing pretty soon. We got to get this thing done, and we got to get this thing out of here and up north, then we can start our regular project. We've got the truck all in the color and the clear. Fenders and the doors all have to be painted. And then, I don't know if he wants to take the grill and black that out and stuff like that. But then putting the whole thing back together takes time. It's going to rain in a couple hours, but I'm thinking this will tack off good enough where the water should shed. It's not going to wreck the paint. And if you feel in here, the glass is a little warm. So I think we're fighting off the temperature. It'll help it dry with the heater inside it. So I'm going to see, it's already flashed off. I can touch it, it's not tacky. So I think we're safe with rain getting on it. It's not going to wreck the paint. A couple more steps and we'll have the thing getting back together.